Hi, you guys. Recording in progress. Rest in peace. They're so much alike. It's hard to tell the difference, right? Oh my gosh, we are so glad to be here with you tonight. We're so happy that you put aside the Dallas Cowboys game for us. That was nice of you. No, we want to celebrate what all you do for your communities and what all you've sacrificed around your families. This night is for you, and we are delighted to be here. All three of us are members of the Veterans of Comedy traveling troupe, and you can see all of our intros and comedy on veteransofcomedy.com. And our motto is to leave no laugh behind. Are you on board with that?
Good.
Let's get some clapping going. Do you want to show me you know how? Well, we like noise. You can laugh, you can scream, you can hoop and holler. This doesn't really work much for comedy.
I'll take it.
So we're so glad to bring you this show tonight. You have no idea. I have two of my closest comedy friends helping me with the show, and they have worked their tail off to bring you the best. So the host for the evening, I'll introduce him officially in a moment. I'm going to mention his name. He's the man with all the hair in the top, David Scott. He's from Kansas City, Kansas, right? Did I get it right this time, David?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Missouri, yeah, there's two Kansases, Kansas Cities, my bad. And then the other person with the cute hat over there, like Andy Capp used to wear, you got Chris Crawford. Now, he really is from Texas. He's here. He's going to be your feature. And I gave myself the headlining spot, so kudos to me. I can't wait. I'm Linda Smith. So we're just so delighted. And most of all, we're so happy that finally we get to make you first responders and families our first responders to our jokes. So you get to sit back and relax and have a lot of fun and forget what's on your mind and just feel better knowing that we're telling you stuff about our lives. Does that sound good?
Very good.
Let's give it up for yourselves for being here. We are so glad you're here. This has been really rough for us comics because we haven't been seen as essential for some crazy reason. And now we're back and we're so delighted. And Connie has been a good friend to me since I met her a couple of years ago in Vegas. And so we love Jim and Connie, and you guys know them better than we do. So let's give it up for your chief and for Connie, his wife.
Yay!
Dang, yes.
Yeah.
So I'd like to introduce you to the host for the evening. Let me read you his intro. David G. Scott started doing comedy after he retired. Is that cool? He progressed quickly, and within a few years, he was a top 5 finisher at the Kansas City Comedy Festival. He's an Army veteran, a grandfather, and he's a proud member of the Subway Rewards program. Coming up to the stage right now to host this show and do his comedy, David G. Scott.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much for going to the trouble to put this whole thing together, and thank you for inviting us to perform. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City, Kansas is the redheaded stepson to Kansas City, Missouri. Yeah, they're very, very much smaller. And I had a friend the other day, and I said, well, I'm going to be performing for a crowd in McAllen. And they said, really, where is that? And I said, oh, it's easy to find. It's halfway between Sullivan City. So there you are.
Yep.
And I was glad to see, I checked today, and I was glad to see that fall is in the air in McAllen. Your temperature has fallen to a nice cool 93 from 100. So get your sweaters ready. I'm pretty sure it fall's just around the corner. I did some more research. I'm sure you're aware of this. McAllen now ranks 3rd in the nation for best place to live for quality of life. Did you know that? I'm like, man, I'll be right down. Let me pack my bags. I'll be down here by tomorrow. That sounds like it's a great place to live. Wow. And it also is known as the safest city in Texas. Safest city in Texas. Are you kidding me? Wow. Very cool. By the way, I don't know if you support the Cowboys or not. Let me say, go Bulldogs. Anyway, a little bit about me. I named my phone Elvis because it dies every time I'm on the toilet.
Oh no.
And, my name is David, and I did not name my son David. I wish I'd named him Harley, so he could introduce himself as Harley, David's son.
David's son. There you go.
The other day he was talking and he said he was proud of me because he'd understood that I'd started listening to rap music. No, you misunderstood. What I said was the last time I fell, I heard my hip hop. I know the virus is big here in Kansas City. Remember the lockdown of the pandemic when basically all we could do was drive around? Here's the deal. I don't like driving around. Yeah. I have trouble with signs is the problem. They're doing road construction on the highway near where I live. They have a big sign. Listen, I do not want to hit a highway. But if I do, you'll give me $10,000? Fine. A car dealership near where I live has a sign in their parking lot, the stop sign. Underneath it, there's another sign that says heavy pedestrian. I think it's an insult to skinny pedestrians. What are you supposed to do when you see a skinny one? Instead of stopping, you're supposed to speed up and try to hit them? Do you get extra points because they're kind of skittish? Sign outside my gas station said, attendant on duty cannot open safe. Okay, but don't rub it in. We don't need a sign for everything this poor guy can't do. Attendant on duty can't go 5 minutes without looking at his phone. Attendant on duty can't hold down a job long enough to move out of his parents' basement. Come on. The guard feels bad enough working at a gas station. Sign outside the mall got me in trouble. Said 15-minute parking. I said, man, that's convenient. So I parked there, spent an hour looking for a store called 15 Minutes. Never did find it, which is too bad. I'd like to have, sometime I'd like to have a 15-minute store. You know, those times I want to watch a football game, not the whole thing, just the fourth quarter. Anyway, I gave up, went back to my car. There's a guy sitting there waiting to park, and he says, hey, pal, did you read the sign? I said, I know, right? I'm as upset as you are. Then we were both confused. Oh, here's something today. I found out I'm pregnant. At least that's what the sign said where I parked at the grocery store. Let me see here. Well, let me tell you how comedians' brains work. We have bits. My bit on driving around. Let me tell you one more. My neighborhood doesn't have sidewalks. So you pull in there, there's a sign, and I have two questions. Number one, who are the caution children? And number two, why are they walking in the roadway? Someone should have a word with the caution family about their children. The other reason I don't like driving around is my car is starting to fall apart. But I took care of that. I got a pitch pipe. And now what I do is I will roll over those bumps beside the road. You know, you roll over them, make a sound. I roll over those to see how fast I'm going. You know, those drunk bumps. You know what I'm talking about. Kids call them Twitter strips. Anyway, I'll roll over and get out the pitch pipe. That's a C. That's about 50 miles an hour. That's a D. That's about 60 miles an hour. But if I roll over and I hear, not sure how fast I'm going, but I think somebody owes me $10,000. Anyway, a little bit more about me. When I was a teenager, I was in a gang. We called ourselves the Electrical Workers Union Local 412. Our gang color was bright orange on reflective vests. Somebody's got some noise in the background there. We wore hard hats backwards because we our gang symbol was the same symbol utility companies used to indicate where to install a street light. And let me tell you, our neighborhood, very well lit. We had to give up the gang, though. We had to break up the gang after one of our members got hit by an old guy driving a car. And for some reason, we had to give him $10,000. Anyway, my cousin is an ornithologist. His specialty is the hoot owl, but he's discovered some other rare owls. He's discovered the cute owl. Instead of going, hoo, hoo, it goes, aw, aw. He's also discovered the toot owl. Instead of going, hoo, it goes. And that is my only fart joke. Thank you. If I only had one word to describe myself, it would be not very good at following instructions.
Yes.
My two favorite songs are love songs and songs that welcome me to the jungle. The other day, I ate an entire can of Pringles. I was very disappointed because there were only 3 of them, and they were all tennis ball flavored. Shout out to my 4 favorite bags: punching, grab, barf, and Papa's got a brand new. Ain't no drag. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I have no idea how many times I say things. Just a few more for me, then I'll turn it over. Let me see here. What do I have? Oh, apartments aren't apart. They're together. Shouldn't they be called togetherments?
Yeah.
Yes.
I like coffee, but if I drink too much, I realize there are spiders under my scalp weaving hair. Speaking of spiders, I found a spider in my sock drawer the other day. It's very upsetting because it belongs in the spider drawer. Saw a spider in my kitchen, but instead of killing it, I started telling it about my fantasy football team, and it left quietly on its own. That's enough from me. Thanks again for you guys for showing up tonight. Give yourselves a hand of line.
Yeah.
You're in for a treat now. The next comedian's unorthodox approach to comedy will certainly bring a smile to your face and put a laugh in your belly as he draws from his military career, married life, parenting, teaching, and road gigging to ensure one hell of an entertaining experience. Please put your hands together for the always funny Chris Crawford.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, Zoomland? How are you guys doing? All right, you can talk back. All right, no, actually, I am Chris Crawford, one of the veterans of comedy, San Angelo's own. Your lack of response is what that normally gets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reintroduce myself and give you a couple credits that you might actually care about. What you have in front of you is a man with 2 HBO specials, 1 Showtime special, and 2 Comedy Central highlights, all recorded on my DVR at home, and I can't wait to get there to watch them. You don't know who the heck I am. I'll tell you though, just like a vegan would tell you, or just like a CrossFitter will tell you, or just like a firefighter will tell you, or just like a guy with the word veteran written on the shirt wants you to know who the hell he is. Oh man. No, the Air Force kept me around for about 20 years. It made me a very special type of veteran. The type of veteran that believes the word veteran should never be abbreviated to the word vet. You see, vet can mean so many different things. It can mean prior service member. It can mean animal doctor. It can mean Corvette. It can even mean a person who has a lot of experience in their profession. Now, my father-in-law, he was in the service. So was his dog. So in theory, I, as a vet, could help a vet, take his vet to the vet, and a vet, like a vet. Okay. You guys are looking at me like, how did I get on this show? And I'm going to tell you, I was vetted. Now, like most military people that live in San Angelo, I'm not actually from here. I'm a transplant. So when I go home for the holidays, I really have to go somewhere. And I go all the way back to a place called Cooter, Missouri. Yeah, I said Cooter. It's a nice place in a backwoodsy, rednecky sort of way. Now, anytime I go home, me and my family, we take a trip over to the department store. The only department store in Cooter. When I say department store, I mean the Dollar General. When I say my family, I mean my family. I'm talking about my nieces, my nephews, my aunts, my uncles, my grandma, my grandpa, my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, my kids, and my wife. One great big redneck mecca right over to the great department store of Cooter, Missouri. Now, the last time we made such a trip, my youngest daughter began to act out, you know, the way they do. I was going to try and crush it at the lowest level, bend down, have a conversation with her. Now, before I get too far into that, I'll tell you, military members, depending on when they serve, they have their own world problems to think about, their own war. Mine happened to be the war on terrorism. With that came some common misconceptions. People believe that Middle Easterners raise their kids to be terrorists. That's not true. All kids are terrorists. Just in America, we like to train it out of them. So let me get back to the story with my child. I got down about eye level. She began to make demands. Well, I don't negotiate with terrorists. So I scoop her little butt up. I'm going to take her out to the car. That's a known consequence. Now she's squirming and fighting me just a little bit. So like any good dad would, I threw her up over my shoulder and I quickened my pace. Then she really began to fight, really giving me hell. Arms this way, legs that way. But I'm okay with this. But then my child, she did the unthinkable. In public, she cried for help. She was all, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. Now think about this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a middle-aged man, you're a small community. You don't know me. I'm darn near running for the door with a small child draped over my shoulder, kicking and flailing, fighting for its life, talking about, help, help, help me, help me, help. Man, in Texas, I'd have been shot. I couldn't get out that door quick enough. I darn near sprinted across the parking lot, got to the car, opened the car door. I went to put her in. She didn't want to go in. She's holding on to the door frame with all 4 limbs like this. And I'm pushing on her torso, pushing on her torso till her little limbs would give out. Tie her down into the car seat like a damn hostage. Stand up, look around. Hundreds of spectators. Some might call them witnesses. But you know, not a single one of them challenged me. You know why? Because they know all kids are terrorists, not to be negotiated with. Oh, man. You guys laugh like that's true. It's not true, though. We do negotiate with our kids. In fact, we give them their own rules to play by. For instance, if a child throws out its arms and runs into a room and goes, pop, 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 looks up and declares, I'm a helicopter. You know what you'll tell that kid? Yeah, you are. You can be anything you want to be. But Lord forbid, I, as a grown man, should throw out my arms, run into a room and go pop, 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 pop. Look up and declare, I'm a helicopter. People say mean things like, get away from me. Or we used to see other people. Oh, man. It's true. No, God, man. But the real truth is, we will do almost anything for our kids. Here's an example. Here's an example. My youngest daughter, you remember the terrorist I was just talking about? She recently turned 6 years old. And when in Texas, you do as Texans do. You buy a freaking piñata. So I did. From the only decent place in town to get one, the supermercado. Now, having grown up in the Midwest, I thought these things would be shaped like donkeys or pigs or stars and be festive colored, you know, like they are in the cartoons. That's not how it is, though. No, I walked in, hanging from the rafters, they had Ninja Turtles, Transformers, Power Rangers, Powerpuff Girls, and even Disney princesses. Turns out, they create these things based off characters our children have grown to love. Clearly, they're not on the same page as our European brothers. You see, they also have paper mache characters. They call them effigies. And they print them and stab, they burn them. You see, they create theirs based off the characters they hate. Armed with this knowledge, I cruised to the register, knowing I was not buying a piñata. No, I was buying an effigy. You see, I was buying Elsa. Oh, I hate Elsa. I love my daughter, though, so I bought the darn thing, took it home, and raised it up. She hit it with everything she had. She reared back and went, ah. It didn't break, so I gave her another shot. Ah. It's okay, be Virgil. You can smile, smirk, giggle, or even laugh because you know that's the sounds that a 6-year-old little girls make when they hit piñata. Not my son, though. No. 15 years old. He brought the heat. He brought the hate. He was all boom, 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 boom. And I guess I was getting into it because I was all, hit her again, son. Hit her again, son. Hit. And I could feel all the parents' eyes shift towards me. I realized I was conveying a horrible message. So I started backpedaling as quickly as I could. I was all, let it go, son. Let it go, son. Let it go, son. Let it go. God. I absolutely hate that movie, guys. But, God, man, I think that last bit made me feel like a lunatic. Made me look like a lunatic. So I'm going to take the attention off of me. All of your mics are on, so I feel like I can ask this question safely. We're going to do a status check. So who are we dealing with? Single versus married. If you're single, show me where you're at. Get loud.
Woo!
And this place is about to blow up. If you're married and you love the person you're with, make some noise.
Yo.
All right. There's only one person that didn't care to say. A lot of times there's more than that. And you guys don't have to say it. I'll tell you, though, I am married. Going on 11 years. Happily so. But, you know, during that time, I learned a thing or two. For instance, did you know that married people have different nicknames than single people? For instance, I'm not sweetie. I'm not honey. I'm not baby. I'm not bae. Now, my wife, she calls me somebody. It's nice. Of course, she never says it directly to me. She'll walk into an empty room, declare, somebody should mow the lawn. Or somebody should do the dishes. Or maybe somebody should go change that baby's diaper. I do it, though. I really do. I do it all because I love the hell out of her. At least more times than not. There are those times when she's driving. That's a hard not. You see, anytime she's behind the wheel, it's like she's angry. It's like she has constant road rage. You guys get road rage?
Yeah.
Of course you do. We all do. But I recently learned something about myself. I'm pretty tolerant of other drivers. What gets under my skin, what gives me road rage, are the other people in my own car. They make me say things like, don't make me come back there, or I will turn this car around. Of course, my go-to at the moment is, I'll wreck this car right now and end it all. They don't let me drive the church van anymore. Oh, man. Now, I do love the hell out of my wife. I really do. So I am going to tell you, spouses, they can be pretty demanding. For instance, a while back, my wife asked me if I would care to learn a second language with her. I told her, heck no. Sounds like a lot of work. 3 days later, she asked me again, and I knew it was going to be a thing. So I told her, yeah. Would you believe that she let me pick the language? So I chose something that'd be completely viable to me here in Texas. I chose Italian. Okay, so not very viable in Texas, but I worked real hard at it for about a week. It was as tough as I thought it would be, so I quit. But before I did, I took a test that told me I'm exactly 1.9% fluent in Italian. I say that qualifies me to teach you a thing or two, to give you some words to walk around with. You guys ready to learn some Italian? You want some words? You want some words? Of course you do. Check it out. Let's get ready. Figaro, 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 Figaro. I'm not sure who or what that guy was singing about, but I like to believe it's that cat from Pinocchio. Or maybe I just like kittens. But I digress. I didn't come to talk about that. I came to give you some words. Let's start with chow. I don't mean the dog you grew up with or the food that you ordered. I mean CIAO. You see, in Italy, it means both hello and goodbye. Try that in America. Walk up to somebody, let them say hi to you, look back at them, say goodbye. Straight jerk move, not cool, you'll not be friends. However, in Italy, you can walk up to somebody and say ciao. They'll look back at you and say ciao. Now, he could be the nice guy in the world or a straight up jerk. You don't know the difference? Kind of cool, kind of messed up at the same time. But let's move on to another word. Prego. Yeah, I just rolled the R trying to sound sexy as all get out. But I don't normally say it like that, though. I normally say it like this. Prego. Half the room would believe I'm talking about a pregnant woman. The other half might believe I'm talking about that pasta sauce you find over in aisle 12. But you might be surprised to learn that it does not mean pasta sauce and it does not mean pregnant woman. What it means is you're welcome. Now, with that in mind, let's think back to that pasta sauce for a second. How it just sits there knowing it's so darn good. It gives you a preemptive you're welcome right across the label. Prego. Prego indeed. Seems kind of arrogant if you ask me. But you know, I like that kind of swagger. So much so that I let it inspire my first tattoo right across my chest. Prego. That way when I'm frolicking on the beach, I mean walking very manly with my shirt off. Anybody that sets eyes on me will know that my body welcomes their gaze. However, it's possible they don't see the same beast of a man that I see every day in the mirror. They may see my pale, flat chest, lightly swollen gut, read my tattoo and think, yep, prego, definitely prego. Oh, man. That hurts so bad. But, you know, I'm going to tell you, for that 1 week that I actually spent trying to learn the Italian language, what I learned is that it is an awesome language. But in hindsight, compared to English, most languages sound pretty awesome. Now, a lot of people don't want to bite on that, so I'm going to offer you something to compare it to. I'm going to do something that's highly not advisable for any comedian to ever do. I'm going to reach 28 years into the past for this premise. I'm going to pull it right here and put it on this stage so that I can do this. I'm going to sing a song from an animated feature that was produced by Disney. See if you've ever heard this before in English. Here comes a lion, father. Yes, it's a lion. Ever heard that before? Of course not, because it's freaking lame. Now, let's play it back in Zulu. Majestic. English can't touch that. But I think that I want to move on. I want to move on to something that is a little bit more present and in the now. I want to tell you that if you want proof that the English language needs a lot of help, look at our youth. You see, I am a teacher. My students come in and they try and spice up the English language all the time, try and help it out. They take our words and they turn them into acronyms, or they'll take a word and truncate it in some way, or they'll take a word that used to mean this and make it now mean this. And I pick up on it, I go home, and I tell my 18-year-old kid, I say, your eyebrows are on fleek. That means they look good. No cap. That means I'm not lying. She thinks that I'm OD, which means I'm overdoing it. I need to change my drip, which means stop, Dad. I don't care how she feels, though, because I think that she is lit. And that last word is my favorite of the words because I'm old enough to have seen the entire evolution. When I was a kid, it was legitimate. And then it was legit. And then it was too legit to quit. Now the kids say lit. For half a second, they test drove the word litty. Nobody liked that, so they went back to lit. And I'm glad they did. You see, compared to litty, I think that lit sounds pretty damn legit. I'd even say it's too legit to quit. Sounds legitimate to me. Working in here for you. Come on now. Oh man. No, I'm gonna change the channel a little bit because I hate to get out of here without doing impressions. Man, I love impressions. Now, I'm gonna do the very first one that I ever did. It sounded a lot like this. It's possible you don't know who that is at all. So I'm going to turn away from you, look back at you dramatically, and declare, I'm Batman. And instantaneously, everybody in this Zoom room knows who I am. Funny how effective that is. Now, the bad thing about the Batman voice is it sounds an awful lot like creepy guy voice. You remember, ladies, the guy who tried to pick you up at the bar? He was all, "Do you come here often? Are you alone? Can I call you?" First of all, guys, if you're doing Batman voice at a club, stop it. You're ruining it for the rest of us. No, you're not going to stop it. So the next time you do it, she looks at you like you're crazy, and she will. Turn away and look right to her soul and declare, "I'm Batman." Maybe it'll work. No, it's not going to work. I've tried it. Trust me. Of course, the cool thing about the Batman voice is that anybody can do it. It's simply an aggressive whisper with a little bit of bass. But the funny thing about the Batman voice is that even though everybody can do it, no two people sound alike when they do, but it still comes off like Batman voice. To prove that, I'm going to get that crowd participation out of a Zoom room, and that's impressive in itself, but I'm going to get you. I'm going to count to 3, and I want you to hit me with an aggressive whisper with a little bit of bass and declare, "I'm Batman." All right. 1, 2. I can see each and every one of you. Tell me you're going to do it. Be my hero, save my set. You ready? Woo, you're going to do it. All right, let's get our bat. 1, 2, 3. I'm Batman. That's beautiful, guys. All right, man. I think that you guys are actually better at this than I am. I think that you're better at it than I am. But I'm not ashamed to admit I'm new at the whole impression game. I really am. But you know, anything I try, I run full steam at. I give it everything I got. Here recently, I decided to set a world record. Now I had to do some research. So I opened the Guinness book, flipped through a few pages, looked down. The first thing that jumped out at me was the world's largest miniature airport. I'm not sure that those two phrases can even go together. But what it taught me was that if you suck at something bad enough, they'll give you a record for it. So I decided to be the world's loudest mime. You see, B. Virgil, that's funny because mimes, they don't normally say things. Check it out. I am in a box. I am pulling a rope. World's loudest mime, y'all. Fact checkable. Not right now, though, because you're watching the show. I'm Chris Crawford. Thank you so much. Please welcome back to the stage, David Scott.
Chris Crawford, everybody. Wow, fabulous stuff, Chris. Loved it. Loved it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a real treat. This little gal has performed comedy everywhere for active military and veterans. He is the creator of 2 popular Zoom comedy shows. He is a proud veteran and a member of the Veterans of Comedy. Please welcome the fabulous Linda Marcus Smith.
Hi, everybody. I have to get David off the screen. David Scott, give it up again for him. Such a great host and such a great comedian. He even headlines around, and so does Chris. Chris was awesome too. Thank you, Chris. Oh my gosh. Notice how I am doing the wrong thing here right now. Just 1 second. Please be patient. How's that go? Please be patient. God is not finished with me yet. Let's see here. Remove pin. That used to mean something totally different. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to be here, you guys. I am in Vegas, living it up in Sin City, and I have been so busy. Not with comedy. I've been busy aging. Is anybody getting older up in here? Hello? We're all getting older. Oh my gosh, this is the most relatable thing a baby boomer has ever told you. Yeah. I just had a birthday. Yeah. Okay, it was back in March, but whatever. I turned 21 for the 3rd time. 21 times 3 3 plus, none of your business. That's what I turned. And I have a twin brother back in Portland, Oregon, named Fred. He embarrassed me in March. He came out as a 70-year-old. Oh my gosh. I'm busted. Busted. I don't do that. I say 21 times 3 plus none of your business like it's nothing. I won't tell. Now everybody knows my age. Oh my gosh. My twin is so funny. He says that I look just like him in drag. I said, Fred, you were born 30 minutes before me. You're my afterbirth. Yeah. Now he calls me rarely. And when he does, he likes to say things to me like, I don't have many brains or something like that. To which I say, Fred, that apple doesn't fall far from our family tree. We're related. Remember, we're twinsies. Twinsies for life. I gotta tell you, I am so delighted to do comedy for you all. I've been tingly all week. You know, do you have any idea how thankful I am for first responders? I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for a chief like Jim and family and support people. And oh my gosh, I had a blood clot in 2004 and a fire person, a lady, she came and she made sure that I didn't go back in the house with a blood clot. You know, I owe it all to the first responders. But I got to tell you, there was this one time I was driving a car. I love the kitty cat. I was driving a car and it started on fire. And I was so distraught. There goes my little car that I love so much, up in flames. So I called the fire department. They came right away, put the fire out, called my girlfriend, Kathy, my car's on fire. I'll be right over there. She comes over, the fire is out. There's a man marching around the car and he's got a clipboard and a pen. And he says, and who are you? She says, I'm Kathy. I come to all of Linda's fires. We were single mothers raising children on our own. And when she went to get remarried, I went to the wedding and went through the procession line, got to meet her new in-laws. And they said to me, so who are you? And of course, I had the comedy callback wherewithal. So I said, I'm Linda. I come to all her weddings. It was a perfect opportunity. I know what you guys are all thinking while you're looking at me in those boxes. She looks just like Marilyn Monroe, right? I get that all the time because of the blonde hair. I just overlook it, you know. I'll do like comedy and I'll do really good and they'll say, oh, you look so beautiful. You look like Marilyn Monroe. What about the jokes, people? Wasn't the pandemic weird at the beginning though, really, wasn't it? Notice I didn't do a segue. If you want a segue, go watch Mall Cop. I'm too old for segues. Yeah, the pandemic was weird because they told us to stay home and don't travel. So I stayed home because I'm a boomer, I pay attention. I looked at my fridge and I said, I'm eating everything in that fridge if I'm staying home. I did. I ate everything in the house and sent my hips abroad. Yeah. Little bit about me or a lot, whichever. I love to mess with New Yorkers. Are any of you New Yorkers? Like the Big Apple, you love New York? None of that. Cool, I won't tell them. But I love to mess with New Yorkers and tell them, I'm from the Upper West Side. You don't sound like it, you don't look like it, you don't act. No, not the good Upper West Side. The Upper West Side of the U.S. map, Oregon. Yay! Yeah. My state, oh my gosh, when I grew up there in the 50s, it was so serene. Wait, it was serenely racist, whatever. They were so racist. It used to make me so sad. You know, and I come from a little tiny town none of you have ever heard of in the news at all lately, Portland, Oregon. Yeah. It's actually where a lot of first responders have a lot of job security lately. Well, they're getting their money's worth out of that city. But when I grew up there, it was quiet. Such a quiet city in the 50s. It was so quiet. I used to have to ride a really slow trolley all the way downtown to shop fast. Oh wait, shoplift fast. That's what it was. I gave it up, but in my day, I hate to brag, but have you ever been so good at something you had to quit? Now that's good. Man, I do hate to brag, but I almost turned a 5 and dime store with a soda fountain. Megan, do you know what a soda fountain is? I almost turned one into a non-profit, one lipstick package of makeup at a time. I gave it all up and I went back to the store and I asked them, what can I do to make it up to you? Megan, do you know what they told me?
Come work.
They told me just don't come back. Totally fair, yeah. So my town, Portland, has turned upside. Have you read the book, Dr. Seuss's book, The Upside Down Town? Well, Portland is like that to me. It's turned upside down on me. It's now very progressive. Do you see anything about me right now that looks progressive? I'm not. Once I got on the phone and spent 15 minutes to save money on car insurance, which is weird because my car had burned in a fire and I didn't have another car. Yeah. Once in Portland, I did almost kiss a Portland hipster barista. Yeah, I almost did because he said, you look just like Marilyn. Who wouldn't want to kiss him, right? So I said, oh, wow, she's so, and he goes, no, Manson, Marilyn Manson. I gave up shoplifting makeup. I didn't have a way to change my makeup for him. I was stuck with that. But that's okay, you know, because when us baby boomers, we go by a couple different mottos. One would be the song, it meant so much to us boomers. And I'm sure that some of you will remember it, the song Precious and Few. Remember that? Precious and Few, yeah, by the group Climax. Yeah, I can't go into it any farther because this is my clean set, but you get the picture. The other thing us boomers are driven by is that we go by the motto, when the going gets tough, the tough don't go shopping, we just get going and we split. That's what I did many times. So when Portland got too much for me, I took off. I became a wanted woman, and not for shoplifting. Isn't that weird? I found out I was wanted at the post office. Awkward. You never want to do that. He was looking at me. His eyes followed me everywhere. He pointed, said he wanted me. I'm a boomer. We don't say no to men, no matter how old. So I went in the Army. And as military intelligence would have it, they took this little half Jewish girl and put me right in the middle of Germany. Yeah, take that, Hitler. Should have checked my record. Had to put up with me for 3 years, making little wisecracks. Oh my gosh. I gotta tell you, as a boomer, I don't have self-esteem. What is that? Do you think we got self-esteem from, what's with the phrase self-esteem? You know where us women got our self-esteem? From 50s men honking, whistling, telling us we had value, or they had a need they wanted us to fill that I can't talk about in this set. Yeah, oh my gosh. So thank you to all the 50s men. I am now addicted to getting attention and needing compliments to keep my whatever self-esteem I have up. And here in Vegas, you have no idea what I have to do to get attention and compliments. I have to, oh my gosh, I have to tell you that I will go up and down the Las Vegas Strip in a prom gown and stilettos, and I'll walk in the middle of the strip. I have, just to get a honk. You know, it's been rough getting the honks. I don't know if you've heard of the Me Too. When they give me a honk, I go into my best Robert De Niro impression. Here we go. Are you ready? Are you honking at me? You better be honking at me. Do you know how long it took me to look this good? The fake blonde hair and the high heels. You better be honking at me. It took me 21 times 3 plus. They don't have time for it. It's fun to think about though. I gotta tell you, if you're out giving almost old ladies like me compliments, listen to this. Oh my gosh, I have my 3 favorite worst compliments I get. Ready? Number 1, you are aging backwards. Oh my gosh, they just took aging and made it sound great. Did you guys know Benjamin Buttons was a sex symbol? I know that. Oh my gosh. Number 2, they say, you, just a second, I'm running out of air. You look good for your age. Oh, so you know what 21 times 3 plus none of your business is? I don't think so. Don't end a compliment with a prepositional phrase. You end a compliment with a preposition, your night is not going to end with a proposition. Reckon the whole compliment. You know, the worst one that you can give an almost old lady is when you tell her, oh, your twin brother said you're 70. Well, don't worry. Age is just a number. Oh, really? Age is just a number? Now let's take that for a second and run with it. Okay, so then Mount St. Helens is just a hill. What about the great white sharks? They're just fish. Maybe the Capitol insurrection, that's just the new National Board of Tourism.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, a little bit of sticking it to them for a second. Yeah, but I was wanted and I went in the military and I served 3 years. So what that means is, if you're hearing this in English, you have me to thank. I'm kidding, of course. While men and women were in the jungles of Vietnam fighting for our lives and our rights, I was in Germany in a division called YITA, Y-I-T-A. No, you never heard of it. I made it up. It's called Yodeling in the Alps. They didn't have me do hardly anything but count money. You know, circle back to being Jewish. It was great. It's kind of hard to count it out. I'd rather count it in, you know the drill. But yeah, oh my gosh. Military intelligence also told me that I'm related to Albert Einstein. Isn't that incredible to find that out in Germany? Oh my gosh. It's become my family's theory of relativity. So true. You know, I didn't believe it at first because look at me. Do you think I look like I'm allergic to a hairbrush? Didn't see right. Oh my gosh. And before that, the claim of being related to Einstein, every time I saw E equals MC square, I just got hungry for a couple hamburgers at the Golden Arches. What did I know? Oh my gosh, yeah. But the military does give you so much. Wait a minute. Did I say give? I signed my life away. They didn't give me nothing. Just kidding. Oh my gosh. I did get pregnant there and married. Yes, I said pregnant and then married. Well, yeah. We learn as we get older. That wasn't the right order. Yeah. So when I was in the military, I had one thing I loved to do. I called up my parents and I said, Mom, Dad, they were divorced. I wouldn't believe what I'm doing here in Hanau, Germany. Yeah. I'm drinking the German soldiers till they fall under the table with their own dark beer. Isn't that great? No, not for World War II and Hitler, no. Yeah, no, for alcoholism, temporary alcoholism. Hello? Lines went dead. That's what happens. Yeah. You know, I raised a daughter because I got pregnant. I raised her to full adulthood, 18. Took me 36 years. I still don't know how to spell smother love. I'm in denial. She would yell, scream, slam doors, and tell me she hated me. So I finally let her fly on her own, and I went to be an adult at age 63 in comedy. So does it really count as adulting? I don't know. Somebody let me know. But it helps me stay positive and laugh. When I get sad about my daughter, I go on Facebook, It says what's on your mind. It's their fault. I write jokes. One day I wrote 82 jokes. Can you imagine how sad I was? A 72-year-old lady from Portland, a comedian, she called me up and she said, I'm going to block you. And I said, why, Betty? And she said, because you wrote 82 jokes today. And I said, I did. Oh, I didn't want to tell her I was depressed. That's none of her business. So she said, yes. And I read them all and I missed my doctor's appointment. So I said, oh, that's really horrible, but I'm not really seeing the downside to very much of this at all. So I said, what's your doctor's name? And I called him and we started dating. I'm kidding. I think he probably would have thanked me for that. Come to think of it, but I did. I started doing comedy when my daughter and I went our separate ways. And my comedy coaches were really rough on me at the start. They told me to quit saying so many words and get to the punchline, right? And stay off those premises. And I thought, well, should I go back or stay at home? They don't want me on the premises. So I stayed home and just started writing. So I wrote so many jokes on Facebook. Connie, I do this. Now you know why. And one day, New York started calling on me. They said, you think you're so smart with your road rage on Facebook. If you're that funny, you'll get over here and get on Comic Strip Live on the stage here. So I did. I took the train. Hashtag, the best place on the train to do comedy is in the differently abled section. They're going nowhere for miles. They have no camera, no TV monitors. I don't think they've ever seen Throw Mama Off the Train. I was doing jokes to Oshkosh and Bed Bath and Beyond. Yeah. But when I got to New York City, oh my gosh, I saw it. The Empire State Building was so beautiful up there. And it started singing to me, right? It's all about me. I heard the song, you know it, sing it with me. If you can make it here, you'll make it. And then I heard the voice. Get out of the bike lane, you crazy witch with a B, because this is my clean set. My gosh, I'd been screamed at in the middle of Manhattan. I needed a shrink. So I ran and got me one. I told her all my symptoms, one after the other, of course. Everything I told her I had, she said she had. Everything I had, she took. So of course, I took her husband.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm from Portland. We're very passive aggressive there. Not aggressive. I had my neighbor take her husband. These are jokes. Didn't do that either. Yeah. So as things turned upside down on me in New York, too many triggers, too short a period of time, I got to going, and I heard, with a little bit of money and a whole lot of chutzpah, you can be anything in Vegas. Oh my gosh, I couldn't wait to get here. And I got here just in time for COVID. And there was no sin nowhere. No drinkers, no gamblers. I thought I was in Utah. Nothing going on. There was not even any slick hooker trading cards smashed all over the sidewalk. How was I gonna get a slip and fall accident and pay my rent now? Really ridiculous. And it's like as if Elvis, every single Elvis had left every single building, literally. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I've been here. And my comedy career has been taking off here in Vegas. You wouldn't believe it, taking off through the roof. Okay, mostly at bus stops, whatever. Do you like my dress?
Yes.
It's because of my bus stop comedy career. I call it my LVBSCCT, Las Vegas Bus Stop Comedy Career Tour, where I'm killing it all over Vegas bus stops. And this little lady was there and she was sad. I can't take it if somebody's sad. So I had the antidote. I told her a joke and she told me to keep my day job. Come to think of it, I hadn't had one since 1996. Oopsie. But now I got me a day job. I'm a Sin City streetwalker. Am I really? Well, with a Fitbit, going walking and getting me some of that 1950s attention I need. So just going walking. Do you think I care if somebody thinks I might be a streetwalker? A job is a job. I don't care what, I'm too old to care what people think. I got to get attention. Men love prom gowns. We all know that. And so that works for me. In fact, my idea of a really good day in Vegas is when casino security steps up to me and says, "You look just like Marilyn Monroe." And I know I'm looking really hot. That's a good day. Oh my gosh, I take my looks and my age so seriously. I know it takes everybody by surprise. But before I go, I'm a boomer, so you got to put up with a couple of puns. Ready? I warned you. All righty. Well, I'm a boomer. Some people do impressions. I want to learn voices. Yeah, I want to learn like, well, I don't know, 1,000 or so voices. But I'm also older, get a little forgetful. So I'm afraid that I might draw a blank. A Mel Blanc. A big old Mel Blanc. Yeah. Does anybody like ice cream? I love it. Oh my gosh, I love ice cream. I could eat it all day. All of it, you know? I would. I don't think that diabetes is funny, but I do think that I could eat it till I gave myself diabetes and get really angry at myself for doing it. And then that would make me lactose intolerant.
Ah,
Don't you hate to love or love to hate, whatever it is with puns? Yeah. Well, that is really about my time, but I just want to let you know that you're sitting there wondering, man, this lady's wacky. What's the takeaway? There is no takeaway other than hopefully I inspired you not to care when you get older. But anytime a boomer is not taken away by a siren or a squad car, when you don't see Dalmatians on a fire truck, it's a good day. So thank you so much. I love you all. You're a great audience.
ladies and gentlemen, Linda Marcus Smith. Wow, fabulous. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
one more time for Chris Crawford. One more
Yes.
time tonight, Chris. Wow, this has been the Linda Smith Show for the McAllen firefighters and friends. And thank you so much for being with us this evening. As a reminder, you can hire us individually. You can find us, text us. And if you like, you can request us through the Veterans of Comedy website, and we'll show up and give you one heck of a show. Thank you all very much. It's been a delight. Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you all. On behalf of the McAllen Fire Department and all our friends and family that are tuned in, thank you, Linda, Chris, David. Thank you all so much for what y'all did for us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you. See you when you get here.